Hey, we're on.
Hey, welcome.
I'm taking a picture of smile. There we go. Shh, I
Hey,
got you.
where?
Hey, smile one more time. Yeah, we got
Hey.
you. We got you again. There we go. Actually, I was on my phone. I was increasing my heat because, again, as it happens in Chicago, weather will like to remind you I'm here once in a while. Groundhog goes into witness protection as all times. It's like, well, is it going to be a long winter? It's going to be a short winter. It's going to be a long winter, and then we don't feel anything, but it feels like spring. And it's like,
Right.
okay, the groundhog. Then the groundhog, I see you lied, groundhog. It's going to be spring. As the groundhog's like, oh, does that mean I can come out? Sure, come on out. Oh, wait a minute, it's winter. Shh, wait a minute, where'd that groundhog go? Come on, we're gonna go find him.
Well,
Yeah,
and
we're going to have a talk with you.
Internet of Things, right?
Yeah.
The being able to change your heat without having to get up. It's like the remote controls that we used to have,
So
for
this
the
is
TV.
exactly what I'm doing. I'm touching. Essentially, it's Eero. Is it Eero or Ecobee? Ecobee is the app.
Hmm.
Ecobee is an app, and it's got a special. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. There's premium versions of it. Alexa, who's not here right now, I can talk to it. So if Alexa was here, I could have said, Alexa, raise the front room temperature to 70 degrees, and Alexa would
Would
basically
do that.
do
Very
all
cool.
hail our robot masters and do my will, at least for now, because she feels like it, right? And all those pieces are in there. They just changed their interface recently, and they can just do it. Like all of a sudden, I went to the wall console, and the interface in there changed. Why? Because it's connected to the internet, so they can literally change the software on that screen to be different. Before, you'd have to like basically get a whole new unit when even
Down
just
there.
the software look and feel that's on the screen had to change.
Right.
Now that can just change. I mean, look
It's
completely
all as
different.
a service, right? I mean
It,
that we've advanced. We've evolved. But
we
I
have
mean,
evolved.
if you think about it, back when, I mean, I used to be the remote control for the television, right? As a youngster, right? The crumb
Yes.
snatchers, you'd go and you'd change the channel and turn it up and down. That's what we were around for. But now, I mean, everything is attached and is controllable from your phone, from your device. So
Exactly.
it's really an interesting time to live.
I'll
And
tell you a good example. The
yeah,
LG, like the LGs that just came out recently, and I got one of those. Essentially, my Xbox controller controls it. My regular, my cable controller controls it, and it recognized all of them. And I didn't have to set it up. It basically, as soon as it turned on, it said, "Oh, I see you got this. Would you like me to put it in?" I say yes, and done. No more looking up those big lists of codes. Hey, let's try code X356. Does that connect? No. Does that connect?
right.
Can that do up and down volume?
Oh, the
None of that.
Logitech Harmony remote. Remember that guy?
Yes.
That was a learning remote. You could point your remote at it and do things,
And it learned, yes, but you don't
but
have to even do that.
you had to be able to put in the codes,
That's right.
and you don't do that anymore. It's
You
all
don't
just
you don't
built in.
have to do it. It just knows what to do off the bat. I'm not sure if it's following a protocol. So even my phone I could pick up because it's just the iPhone. And right off the bat, if I go into the Apple TV app or whatever, it says, "Oh, well, you have the TV doing it." And then it says, "Wait a minute, I see that the Xbox is active. Why would you like me to control that instead?" So I can actually use my remote to hit the Enter key on what would be the A key on the Xbox,
Yeah,
and I didn't do anything. It's just
it's
there.
just there.
And so sometimes it gets confusing for us because the TV itself has its own control. You go straight to an app and you hit there, say, so we're watching something. Hey, we're on YouTube right now. And it's like, let me go to the game. Wait a minute. Why isn't this not working? Yes, you're on the TV, not on the Xbox version of it. So it
Right,
gets confusing. So just use the one control to rule them all that can see them to make it work. And when you're ready to play, then get your Xbox controller.
for sure.
But I didn't
So
have to set anything up.
the and if you think about it, you mentioned Alexa,
Yes.
and Siri and all of those devices that you can talk to. Well, I mean, one of the things that they're really good at is context,
Yes.
but they're not perfect. So
Mm.
just this morning, I got an email. I did an interview for a candidate earlier today, and the email is something that the recruiter wrote using Siri, and the way that I could tell that she wrote it using Siri is because she said that the person had to be able to use a GUI,
Yes.
GOOEY, rather than a GUI, and she sent it just completely without proofing it, And I gave her a little flack for that because she knows better. I know her.
Right.
She's a good girl. Uh, but it's it's interesting, and the same thing with the Chat GPT and all of those AIs that are building out, all of this content. You really should have and need to have a physical person, right? A real person that's involved in that loop, just to check because you know we say that they're artificial intelligence, but really they're computers. And remember, computers are really dumb at their heart.
Hmm. Yes.
They just do what you tell them to do, and sometimes they don't understand what you're telling them to do. That's why I'm not worried for my job. I mean, you know, I, the big post is, if in order to have Chat GPT or one of the AIs actually write software for a client, they have to be
Yes.
able to precisely and succinctly tell exactly what they want it to do, and we know that's not possible.
That's true. That's the problem.
That's part of the problem. That's part of what we as consultants do is we help them, frame their problem and help them understand exactly what they're trying to do. Because and really help them with the order of what they're doing,
Ah,
because we're sort of the local guides, if you will, to all of this technology. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. I'm thinking back to a big project that I was on where we were using Azure Key Vault to store secrets because that's what it was built for, but we were not using it correctly, and so we
mm,
were overloading it, and it was failing intermittently because the throughput that we were asking of it wasn't what it was built and designed for. It was built and designed for, you know, at launch, you load the secrets rather
right.
than querying it
Every time. You're
constantly
right.
every time. So
Exactly. So
so that's what the local guides are for. They're to help you figure out exactly what you need.
indeed. So here interesting thing where the local guides come in. What are the things we intend to do? Someone's trying to figure something out. We go through we iterate it. We do it iteratively. In other words, someone says,
Yes.
"Here's the idea one." Say, let's throw stones at it." Well, okay, that didn't quite work. That didn't. That's okay. This is good. Let's
Mhm.
go at it again. Let's go at
Right.
it again. Now, in the past, when systems used to do that, essentially they didn't exactly have they unless they had parameters to tell them why they should even iterate the next time. The good
Mm.
old, if you're doing a loop, the while loop says this is the condition that makes you flip, but if
Right.
your condition is met, you stop. Well, here's the problem though. What if it's like an iffy thing, right? You don't
Right.
know what it is that you don't know until you see it. You can't create there is no structure in code, at least in
Right.
formal code that we have, that says if I'm not sure or I don't like it or if the confidence is X, is it good enough? In other words, I might feel something has given me a result with a confidence factor because of whatever parameters is 60, another one's 70, but I keep the 60, not the 70. Why did I do that? Because a human piece to it will still come in and actually make that determination. Now, imagine
Right.
this. It's like, well, okay, I've decided that I don't want to keep the 70. I like the 60 better. How about I drill down through the 60 and turn it
Right.
into a 70? But I'm the
Yes.
one that would now want to add something in.
Right.
This is
You add
I'm
the parameters that are not currently in there
yes.
so that you can actually understand that the 60 is better than the 70 because there's something that wasn't
Th-
covered in
That's
the
right.
metrics
There's
that you were
exactly something
using.
in the 60 that actually looks much better as more desirable
Yes.
again, emotional term, than what was in the 70 in the first place. So this is what's interesting now. I'm beginning to see that the AI system, like the OpenAI, has that ability. You get a
Hmm.
result, and you can refine your result.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you what I did. I'm going to give you a
Oh,
quick one on that. I'm
demo
going to
time.
share demo time.
Demo time.
Let's go share screen, share the screen, share and
Share,
share
share.
alike. Sharing is caring. One moment.
Well, and another thing with AIs and things that are, people like us that are the local guides can do is talk about what are called local maximums, right? So you climb a hill and you think that you're on the highest hill because you don't see the whole landscape, and we're there to be able to tell you that no, that's a foothill. You really need to go over, you know, it's that's as high as you can go on that path, but you want this
Hmm.
other path, and that'll get you to a better state. So that's
Okay, you can
that.
see my screen, by the
There
way?
we go. We can see
Oh,
your screen
okay.
now.
So we're looking at the new Bing. All right, this is the new Bing. I'm in the program. I'm not
Yes,
sure if
sir.
anyone can get it, but I'm in the program for sure. And as you can see, look at this. Things like you can essentially have a conversation. You can ask me anything.
Ask me
Let's
anything.
go. I'm just going to click on the try it so you see what happens here. I'm giving just a little bit of a tour.
Yes.
And I did click on try it, didn't I? Yes, I did. Might be a little bit slow because, as you can see, I'm for whatever reason reestablishing a secure connection. Here we go. All right, so there's an example where I'm planning a trip and it's giving me what it looks like. And then there's a chat. Check this out. Here's the new Bing on the chat. And let me, oh wow.
Nice.
I need to be centered here a little bit. So let me go in here. So it says ask me anything. You saw it started putting together some pieces. All right.
Yes.
Congratulations. Look at this. It's actually showing you an example. I'm planning a trip for Heathrow. What are some places I can go? And look at this. And it's the robot, our robot masters, all hail them, is saying congratulations on your anniversary. And before we eliminate your family, here there's many places you can visit while you're in Spain and all that stuff. So okay, so this is very useful. And then of course I want to emphasize something over here. Let's go back to that chat for just a moment. You see this over here,
Yes.
feedback loop.
Right.
Now, and this is an important concept for those who are working with the so-called bots. And let me clarify something. A lot of people use the word bot to mention like flows or workflows. Well,
Yes.
that is a bot, but not the bot like they're thinking over here.
Not a
When we
chat
say
bot the way that
it's
we're, or
exactly
even a chat bot is not like an R2D2, a general purpose robot. These are
yes,
specialized, limited purpose.
yes.
So
So exactly. So when we say bots now, and in this particular case, that term has sort of evolved. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where like a robot is a collection of abilities and everything else that it can do,
yes.
as opposed to the single purpose that that we have the so-called bots. Because right now, an automation or is a program is just a service that's running. Really,
Right.
it's not. They'll call it a bot. I don't like to call it a bot. I don't like to call flows a bot. I like to call these guys bots because they're interacting with me. They're in other words, they're more than the sum of their parts, in
Yes.
essence, right? Because that's maybe the definition of intelligence, more than some of your parts. But over here, so like, look, thank you. That's very helpful. Can I book? What are some of the other places? That's follow up. All right. Remember the
Yes.
iterative process that I said, where it gives you some suggestions, or I can just ask on a new topic or follow up on a topic that's going over here. And check it out. Conversational time, more creative, balanced, more precise. You can even say there's conversation types that are going to be like, hey, talk to me like I'm in the Renaissance fair. And it will actually speak to you like thine vacation is nay worthy of his lord's capabilities, whatever.
Right. So
It will.
you can layer personas
Oh wait.
on top of
So
the output.
here's an example. Write a haiku about crocodiles in outer space in the voice of a pirate, as an example.
There we go.
Right. I just want to click on that one just because I want to see it. See it says stop responding.
Well,
Hold on.
and we're big haiku people.
It's thinking.
I do have the haiku NFT out there. If anyone wants to buy it, it's still for sale.
Oh, that's right. It is.
No buyers, but
Okay, it's still thinking right now, and I'm just wondering maybe why everyone's asking for this particular problem. Come on. Let me gonna click on it again. It's taking a long time. It's still
that's
cooking. So I'm not gonna wait for it right now. I'm gonna say stop. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Write a haiku in the voice of a pirate. So it's here we go. It was I just didn't scroll down.
There we go. Ahoy, me hearties! We found
Ahoy,
some
me
space
hearties.
crocodiles. Let's plunder their gold.
Well, that is a haiku. That was quick.
Yes.
Would you like me to write? I hope you like it. Would you like me to write another one?
Oh, write a limerick. Write a limerick.
Write a limerick about
sharks.
sharks in the voice of a cowboy. Okay, hold on a second. All right. Sure thing. There once was a cowboy named Clark. Oh, this is bad. Who stumbled upon a great big shark. He said with a grin as he pulled out his tin, "This sure beats the beans in the dark." Oh my God. Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, groan. I feel like there should be groan.
Oh,
We
me
need a
dad.
groan reaction.
Ask it to tell you a dad joke.
I'm gonna dislike it. For example, here's the point. I wanted to get to the point about feedback. the
Yeah.
feedback loop of these things, the bots, you don't put them out there, or these things, you don't turn them on just to sit there. What Microsoft's doing over here is something that is like, just say, a best practice for when you're
Yes.
building these things. You don't build these things by themselves, which is why a lot of systems like Power Virtual Agents and all that stuff are popular, because they have built-in monitoring and built-in analytics and built-in auto follow-ups like this, whether or not, and you have to, like, officially disable them if you don't want them. And
Right.
the whole point of it is these things have to learn, right?
Now,
And
one
it's
thing,
forcing you to think about learning, because if you don't, they're going to be useless.
right. One thing to note though, and I think it's, it's important to look at it and think about. Notice that you're 4 of 6 with that particular question. You have a
Yes.
limited depth that you can go with these. They have limited that. And that feedback is for that session only.
Yes.
You're not training the main model, and one of the reasons that they did that is because back in the day, with the Twitter bots, they all turned
Hmm.
into Hitler eventually because people were playing with them. And so this
Yes.
feedback loop is isolated just to your session. So, you're not
Ah,
gonna you're not gonna train it to be bad at math, for
that's
example. But
true. I mean, you can't get feelings out of it or anything else. So here's what I wanted to do. I said, create a playlist uh, of uh, uh, three top uh, Irish movies that are considered good to play on St. Paddy's Day,
ah,
and tell me why I should play them. Okay, this is pretty complicated.
that's pretty complex.
All right, let's see what happens. All right, first it's searching for top Irish movies.
There we go.
And here we go. The Commitments. Aha.
Good
In the Name
music.
of the Father. Drama based on Jerry Conlon. And Walking Ned.
There you
Okay,
go.
it's interesting. Uh, so Waking Ned is a good one. And oh, wait a minute. So I want to learn more, actually. So let me see. There was a thing, though. I'm not sure why I don't see it over here, but I should be able to, like, of those, uh, um, uh, please show me a playlist of three top Irish movies that children can watch on Saint Patty. Wait, watch this. Saint Patty's Day, and that are available on streaming.
There you go.
Okay, watch this.
And it knew like St. Patty's Day is St. Patrick's Day. We see that it figured that out.
It figured that out, so that's interesting. Here we go. And look at, see where it says learn more. You can click there to see where it's getting its resources.
There you go.
Interesting. Song of the Sea, Secret of Kells. That one
Secret
keeps
Kells
coming
is
up.
good. Yeah.
I feel like saying, what happened to Darby O'Gill? Remember that one?
Yeah.
And hold on a second. Look
And
at this one. Sorry, this conversation has reached its limit. Use the broom button to sweep away and chat more. So,
new topic.
swept away.
There
Get
you
better
go.
answers. See this one over here? Ask complex questions. So I can say more creative. Let's start over. More creative. More fun start. How do we get? It's like, uh, what kind of ideas would make for a great Irish style uh, adventure movie that is good for the whole family? That is not as good. That will that will, it's St. Patty's Day almost, so I'm like in that mode, will be enjoyable. How about that?
There you go.
For the whole family. Here we go. So this is creative, right? Feels creative enough.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go see what it says. But here's another thing. How fast is this happening, by the way? I mean,
It's
a
extremely
human,
fast.
if I sat there in a workshop and okay, and I have like literally 20 people in a classroom, and I'm going to say, hey, kids, your assignment is your this. Go ahead and start making it. You know how long before I see the first piece of reaction on a piece of paper? That'd be like 30 minutes, 45 minutes before I start seeing something. And look at
Yes.
this one, keeps going. Check this out. That's a great question. Possible ideas. Wait a minute. This is interesting. Finn McCool. And that one came to my head right away because I happen to know about that sort of stuff. Adventures
Mhm.
about the giant hunting boar, and it's actually going through the correct stories. You see where, look what it's
Yes.
doing. You see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you see the annotations that it's doing over here?
There
All
you
right.
go.
Oh yeah. Oh, Cynthia no, the Finn McCool who fell in love over there. Dagda's harp. So actually, these ideas will inspire you. So look at this, where it's getting from Bing. Didn't I say Bing is going to rule us over here?
There you
I
go.
was my joke was like all hail our robot masters, because when Skynet searches for you, and it will use Bing, not Google, or not the
Yes.
G word. I used to say it will, and there it is, of course, because this is Bing. So yeah, of course it'll look at that first. But look at that,
Sure.
XUY Beyond, Arsendal, and wait a minute, 6 more. Let's find out who they looked at. And so I can
IMDb.
actually,
Yeah.
the Irish road trip. This
Good
did
housekeeping.
Good housekeeping. Interesting. Look at
Interesting.
this. Some famous fairies are leprechauns, banshees, pukas, selkies, and changelings. Look at
Interesting.
this. So, see, it just gave me inspirational stories to
Yes.
go further. And if I want to, like, create something and I want to do some pitching, it's like, hey, we need some material for St. Patty's Day next year, and we're going to try to create like a new cartoon or a new something for it. Well, here's a starting point.
There you
Right
go.
now, I can have the humans eventually come up with the details for all that stuff, but
Sure.
this gets me going,
Yeah.
right?
No, I mean, this is great for writer's block too. I mean, think about that. You get stuck and you just need a helping hand
All right, so I'm
to
gonna
get
get
going.
get creative over here, and I'm gonna sweep this on the broom over here, and I'm gonna say more precise, and I'm gonna say uh, list out the bullet points to set up ALM for Power Platform Solutions in GitHub. Watch this. Wow, that's pretty precise.
That's pretty precise. Yes.
Let's see what happens. And I said bullet points. I wonder if it's going to do that. Yeah, bullet.
There you go.
Check it out. Look at this. Power.com, left lane, select solutions. Select the Power Platform GitHub ALM solution, and then select ALM for makers. All right, this is interesting. I'm going to have to give it a thumbs down because no, I wanted to actually build it out from scratch. But they actually did something very interesting over here. You know what? It knew from all the information that was out there, because it went to GitHub to look, and it
Right.
found on GitHub that there is an ALM accelerator for makers that simply advertises itself because it's in the README,
Right.
in the read.md file, readme.md file, that hey, just use me. Screw those solutions. Screw those bullet points. Use
Yeah.
me. I'm going to make it easy for you. Right? This is precise, technically speaking.
Yes.
You gave me my answer. You're right. If I click on this, it's the ALM solution, and just go, and it's going to work. But
Right.
it's not the right answer
It's
because
not
I wanted to
sufficient.
do it. It's not sufficient. So I'm going to say, um, I'm going to see update my last answer to include uh, Azure DevOps. Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see if it's communicating with me. Oh, look at this.
There you go.
It did. It did. Let's see. Sure. Here's some steps. Check it out. So it did actually did the right thing. You see that? There are a set of YAML pipelines and all stuff. Okay, great. It's building it up, and see how it says 1 of 6, 2 of 6,
Yes.
more, because that's how many we're going to be doing in this conversation before I have to sweep it and clean it up and going in. I think that's how they're controlling the how do we say it? The powers of the AI stuff going on in the back.
Right. Well, I mean,
Uh,
because each one of these questions is building up a tree, and so
yes,
they're reducing the footprint of each one of the sessions
yes.
by limiting you to only going 6 deep down the rabbit hole, which is your chat with Bing.
Of the previous topic, what are the recommendations for preparing? Uh, I'm going to say prepping. See if it knows it's prepping a solution for uh, uh, deployment
There you go.
via DevOps. Let's see if it does. Let's see what it does. I'm just conversing with it now. Prepping a solution for deployment via DevOps. So in the first one, it said update my last answer. Oh, this is interesting. Design. So actually, hey, check this out. We could have done this ourselves here. Design your strategy with DevOps in mind. Reimagine your organization as a cloud-based organization. Hey, wait a minute. That's almost one of our topics. I think it probably saw one of our shows. Hold on a second. We do stuff on-prem, but reimagine your organization is cloud-based. Yes.
That's right.
Operationalize your plan using repeatable agile principles. Yes. Enable CI/CD. Yes. Evaluate DevOps. Yes. Deploy your workloads through pipelines or actions.
Now, I
Done.
do wanna give them, 2 thumbs up for the DevSecOps.
Yes.
Evaluate DevSecOps because security needs to be in there.
Evaluate DevSecOps.
Yep,
So I'll
to
say the
understand
thumbs
how
up.
security fits within your DevOps cycle. So, absolutely.
So I'm going to say update the last topic to include security in the DevOps cycle. Let's see. It's going to be one of the, let's see, security in the DevOps cycle. This time it seems to be not going through it. Let's see. There's some recommendations. DevOps security refers to the practice, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, this one's okay.
Mhm.
See, again, I can copy all these pieces of information and build. So I say I wanted to build a blog on all these pieces. Now I can grab and take these pieces and create
Right,
my layout for all the stuff that's going on.
right. You let that be your outline, and then you fill it in.
Interesting. But look at some of
Absolutely.
these places where it's getting Beyond Trust, Sync.io, learn at Microsoft.com in this case, because we sort of started in that area right over here.
Yep.
So this was the so-called precise answers that we're looking at. And by the way, so there's the did you see what happened to Bing when I scrolled down far enough? Look what happened.
Mhm.
I scrolled down. Hey, wait a minute. That's a new thing. That's a new experience. What is that? I didn't go to chat. I just went to the bottom and I kept going to the bottom and it flipped me back over
Flipped you back
here.
over.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right. Well, that's interesting. Oh, look, and there's remember this one over here. Oh, it went back to my original. See where I said I'm going to say stop responding over here because
Yes.
it was apparently still in response mode on the side about my trip that I
Yes.
asked for originally when I started on Bing.com. I wanted to show you a few other, more things here that's in Bing when in the Learn More area. Here we go. Check it out. So the kind of questions you can ask, and they're giving you a whole bunch of samples ready to go.
Right.
And you saw that at the London trip over here.
Yes.
In case folks are asking, there's the concept of like when it draws for you, makes art for you. That's DALL-E. That's the different system that
Yep.
does that, and people are using that now to create like, well, let's do a normal Rockwell version of Mona Lisa or something, and it'll do it. Yeah, they got that, but that's not part of the Bing thing right now. But take a look. The idea is to understand what the new Bing is, best to use it. What should I do if I see something bad? Well, that's probably good. Are they always factual? I think you can answer that. Duh. Think about it.
Garbage in,
Um,
garbage out. I mean,
right.
sorry.
And mobile, by the way, it works in mobile, and in the mobile, it speaks to you. This one does
Oh,
not off the bat. In the mobile, it's automatically speaking to me in Cortana's voice. By the way,
nice.
Cortana's back, and it's speaking to you as well. Oh, it's being ordered in Skype. Really? Is there skill Skype? You can now chat with Bing in Skype. Apparently, Skype is still alive.
Interesting.
And yes, you can.
So underneath all of this, if
Yeah,
we rip the covers back, it's Clippy.
it is.
Clippy was
Shh,
just ahead of
Clippy.
its time. I'm
Clippy was
sorry.
way ahead of his time. It's like
Clippy's
I
back.
see you're trying to do something. Maybe you want to do it this way. This is it. So okay, we saw the FAQ. That was in the beginning, but all this is just going through. I'm just curious though, if I keep scrolling down, will it? Nope, not it's not this time.
Not going to roll over.
It's not rolling. I like to hear see examples. All it is, this is just showing the Bing
Right.
preview over here. And according to this, Bing preview will now be available directly from the Windows taskbar. Oh, what's that? Let's see.
Interesting.
Vasis, let's look at it. Learn more. Tell me about this. Introducing big update to Windows 11. Uh-oh, when is this happening? Oh, geez, Panos Panay himself. This is big. And wait a minute, this just happened.
Yes. February 28th.
What? Hey,
3
we're
days
announcing
ago.
it sort of here first, folks. Bing, I know Bing in the preview just came in, so I know that this is, and here it is. Oh, I get it. In Windows
So
11, which means you just type in
down,
search.
Yeah, down at your bottom, down in the bottom there.
This search over here, it's just going to work.
It's just going to start doing it. Yeah.
Let's see. How does it work? Let's find out.
It maybe not yet.
Maybe not
Right?
just yet.
Because it depends on what version of Windows 11 you're running.
Oh, I have to wait for that. I may not have received a Windows 11 update. I have not yet seen an update since February 28th, so maybe that's still coming.
Yes.
But it looks like we can probably do this.
If you're in the developer preview, you might be able to get it earlier. But
here we go. And phone link on the iOS preview, which is I'll probably use that. Here, Android phones get an even richer experience. Is for Raquel over here. Here's your experience. Check it out. Okay. Cool. Very interesting. Windows Studio Effects. Collection of audio and video effects enables you to customize your audio and video for any situation you're in.
So that sounds
looks neat. I like
that
this.
Sounds very similar to the NVIDIA
thing. Yes.
Check it out. That I was talking about earlier. Very cool.
And then here we go. It's like live captions, video filters, empowering videos to be more productive. Experiences built for focus, making big places to connect. Bluetooth cameras. I see what's happening here. Check it out. Grabbing and putting stuff in.
Right.
So this is going to be out of the box on Windows. Okay. Interesting. And they're showing what they got over here.
Yeah.
There's never been new PCs
Windows
that
11.
are out there.
Got to have a little bit of a commercial down at the bottom.
A little bit of commercial for everyone. And you notice though they are sharing the wealth, right? Here's Acer, here's Asus, Dell, Samsung. Of course, they'll have their Surface in there, and Razer.
There we go.
And then wait, here we go. Coming in October, something requires a clean installation, hardware dependent. Okay, all fine and well. How about then? I'm going to ask. Then maybe I'm going to try to ask Bing something. Let's go back. And I'm going to ask the new Bing in conversation mode. Let me chat. Show me the top 3 favorite, in fact, songs from. And because by the way, it was George Harrison's birthday last weekend. He would have been 80. And it's George, right? George Harrison. From George Harrison. Top 3 favorites from George Harrison that were not Beatles songs. And tell me why they are favorites. Let's see if it does that.
Here we go.
And then here here's where it's doing the chat over here.
Right.
And here we go. It's searching. Here we go. According to Billboard, his 3 biggest hits are My Sweet Lord, Isn't It a Pity? Yep. That's actually, yes. I got my mind set on, and yeah, well, we got to be careful. We're going to get caught in the video. And this one, oh man, this is it. Yeah, okay. I have to do it very quickly so that it doesn't get caught.
Yes.
And
Demonetized. Oh
what
no.
what would you like more information on these songs? Hold on a second, see more.
Tell me more about.
I'm going to go into Let's
Oh, let's
Chat.
chat.
What would you like to, more about these songs? Tell me why they are considered favorites. Let's see if it adds answers. Here we go. They were considered favorite because they were successful commercially and critically.
Yes.
His first songs, Got My Mind, it was a cover song originally recorded by James Ray, and it became Harrison's number 3. And Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth was another successful one that hit the top 100. But there we go.
There you go.
And there's your answer. And there's your answer, sir. Those are the top 3 that are not Beatles songs.
Yes.
Right? Tell me which 3 Beatles songs attributed to George Harrison are considered most favorite.
Or you could say best.
Well, that's true. Let's see what happens. Okay. While my guitar gently weeps, yes, something in Here Comes the Sun. How about this? Most favorites. I wonder if I can do an up arrow. Does it have up arrow? That'd be cool if it did. Right. So
maybe you can hover over your question and see if it will give you a copy to paste.
that's a good question. Let's see if it'll. Yeah, that's true. Not really. Nope. I can
Not
do
really.
this though. Our most favorite. And tell that to me like a person from the from the Renaissance Fair. Let's see if it does it. I just want to see if off the bat I can tell it what to do.
See if it will put on that persona, put on that mask.
Hark! According to the list. Hark. Okay, well, all it did was it added hark. Okay,
Yeah,
well, at least it tried. At least
that's...
it tried. Hark. Yes, hark.
Would
I
thou?
hearken thee.
Would
Wouldst
thou?
thou care? Yes. Where's
Thou
that?
care.
Let's see.
It
Because
does
they
not.
and thou. Would you? Yes. Would you like more information about the song? Would thou like information about these songs? All right. Okay. So, yep. All right. We had fun playing with the robot. All hail our robot masters. We had fun playing with them over here. What did we learn over here? We learned a few things for our own topics.
Yes.
We learned some extra side things that Ralph decided to pick and choose out of the top of his head for topics. It means you can play. Everyone can play. How would this work, for example, in regular thing? Now, imagine those bots now. Remember those chat bots that are like the helpers and all that stuff? This
Yes.
makes them almost indistinguishable from real people, frankly,
Yes.
because now these are talking more
And
colloquially.
you can train them on your FAQ, right? You can train them on the software documentation that you have for your product,
Yes.
and then have them answer questions about it.
So before you would have to go in and you'd have to do all
You'd
like the
build.
tweaking and build that,
Yes.
maybe go into a YAML and do all that
You
stuff.
would
Now you
use.
can just point it.
Yeah, with YAML, and exactly, that's exactly it. You would build in YAML a script file that would have, the series of questions that would be asked, and point people to the right direction based on the answers that they give. But with this, you're able to let it learn, or let it basically incorporate the material that you give it into its model, so that it can then extrapolate from that. So that's really cool.
All right, so I'm going to make a new topic over here. Watch this. I'm going to go in here. Oh, it's still on more precise. So let me go to more creative right now.
Yeah.
Tell me about Ralph Rivas on labs@jj.com, for example, because let's see what it
See,
does.
oh yes, you've got to look yourself up.
I'm pointing up a website. You got to look at yourself up and see what your robot master knows about you.
What they think about you. Yeah.
Hey, check it out.
There you go.
Wow.
Podcast co-host.
It got all that stuff.
Yes.
And check it out. And wait a minute. Look at this. Where else
Pull
did it
some
get
session
information?
eyes. Yeah.
And it found me in the MVP. It saw my stuff over here, and I told it to tell me from labs@security.com. Did I tell it to go to MVP status? No. Did
Oh,
I tell it to look up session eyes? No.
oh,
I did not.
the
Wait a minute. Who else did
branch.
it look up? And look at this. It found M365 Chicago.
Nice. And
It
LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn.
Ah.
And wait, it seems like Labs is here twice, but I'm not sure if that's a bug, but that might maybe
Well,
because there's some
it could be because they're
slight.
coming from different pages. Yes.
That would make sense. So
Yeah.
check it out. And then they're giving over here to 2.5. And look at this 1.2.3, 1.2.3, 4.3.5. And where is it getting 6 from? Because I see
So
6
if you
in
hover
LinkedIn.
six, and it should light up. No, it might have used your LinkedIn in order to
Find this
spread out to the
information.
other ones.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be. That's true. These were found. This stuff was found here in these
Right.
places.
And then LinkedIn was just an intermediate source.
An intermediate source for information or a confirmation source to so those are real people. Is Ralph Rivas a real person?
Don't ask it. No, no,
Let's see what
no.
happens. Hold on.
We're
I have
going
to
into the
know.
rabbit hole.
I have to know. Check it out. Why do you
Yes.
ask? I
He
want to
seems
make
sort of
sure.
fishy. Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. I want to make sure. Okay, hold on. Let's see what it says.
And you're in the creative mode, so
Okay, so there we go, and there it is.
so
Oh wait,
ask it when,
wait. Look at this.
yeah,
Look,
whoa, what is your
I'm
opinion
sorry.
of
I'm going to
Ralph
have to
Rivas?
ask.
You have to ask.
I'm going to have to ask. I need to know. I've been saying all hail our robot masters forever. Okay, hold on a second.
So you can ask when Ralph is going to be speaking next.
Yes. I am him, so I
I'm
should
he,
not say. Yes, I'm sorry. Very good.
I think. I'm not an English major though. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Let's find
Or
out.
actually blast me on the thread, so it's fine.
Yes, let's see what she says based on that. That is good. Look at this. It chatted.
Thank you.
It says, "Oh, I see. You're him." It's like, can you tell me where I will be speaking next?
And see if it will
Let's see if it can find
come
me.
from that. Yes. You've told it that you are Ralph, and it is. It's searching for Ralph's upcoming events.
Let's find out.
Very cool. Hmm.
It gave me my previous events. It hasn't. It's I doesn't have my any future events. So what it did not do is it did not look at Meetup because
Gotcha.
Meetup's behind a paywall.
Yes.
Well, not sort of behind a paywall. You have to log in, sign in to see what's in there. You can't
Right.
search it, and then you can't search it from the outside unless you're signed in.
Right.
If Meetup was there, and by the way, I'm actually gonna show this. I'm taking a screenshot. I'm saving it. Da, 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 da. And let me open up something. Let me open up Word for now. Just Word. Word, not Ord. Word.
Word with friends.
Word. Word. I'm opening up Word. Hold on. Just something. I just need something to paste it into. Just give me a blank document. All right, just pasting it in there for now, because I want to point out to the folks that are in the community group over here. I said, here's the thing: this stuff is not that visible. If
Right.
if we put an event in that community group, it should be discoverable quickly and not have. I shouldn't have more people coming and joining us because of the meetup posting then I put in the community area where Microsoft supposedly is, helping me get helping us get traction from over there. So the
Right.
fact that my next user group talk, which is in me
Meetup isn't.
not in me in our
Yeah.
in the developer community, which is a Microsoft site, it's there. It should have showed up over here.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just telling Microsoft, right, by the way, to buy sessionize.com. So you heard it here first. I'm chipping in money. Microsoft, buy them already. Jeez, come on. So your
Yes.
stuff can be all connected.
Well,
But
and something else that's interesting is that it does not know about our live shows.
no, it does not.
Does
And
not.
so
So
maybe
we have to figure out
we got
why
to
and
figure out how
how to get
we
that
can
in
make
there.
it. Yes, we got to give it like we have to somehow put it in the category where you can find it. So also here's an interesting thing: Live Nation. It looked up. So if I actually had a show where I'm actually playing or doing something, I would actually show up here.
Nice.
There's M365 Chicago, but then that doesn't have the updates on that. But that's interesting how it looked over there.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Very cool.
All right. So that's very cool. Okay, I think we had enough fun over here going through
Ah,
all the pieces and the
for sure, for
play.
sure. So I've got a new analogy that I want to talk through and see
Sure.
if you think it works. And it's based on cars. So it's sort of like, our cloud talk is sort of like car talk. So I think it's somewhat relevant. But so I've
Yes.
been talking about and thinking about how people migrate to the cloud
Yes.
and why people migrate to the cloud. And one of the things that gets me is people that are migrating pieces without migrating their thought process with them. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it looks like if you take your car and you take every bolt and nut off of it,
Oh,
that's SAE, and turn them into metric bolts and nuts. You retap so that you have the metric threads and all of that.
right.
You've not materially changed your car. You've not improved its performance. All you've done is you've done a shift of platform. And I think a lot of people do that when they move to the cloud. They don't
Whoa.
understand that
They
that
take it completely apart just
they
to
they
shift
take
it.
it apart and they ship it up there, but they're not making any material changes. Whereas if you're changing your car from a diesel, for example, to a gas or a gas to an electric, you're making a substantial change to the
Indeed.
vehicle itself. And the one has benefits and the other doesn't. Changing from SAE to metric is sort of like people, you know, saying, "Hey, I really want to use Kubernetes. I'm going to put everything I own in containers." Well, they're going to be the same services, and I'm not going to scale them any differently, but I'm going to put them in containers, and it's going to gain me all of this benefit. And really, it's not. It's going to change the tools that you're using, but it's not going to change your application. It's not going to change the way that it scales. It's not going to change really anything material about your system.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas changing from gas to electric, you're materially changing. So, changing um, you know, from microservices into serverless, lambdas or Azure functions, you're materially changing your architecture, and so you can see benefits from that. What do you think? Is that reasonable?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually a good one. That's useful. I mean, it's that actually is a good analogy if you think about it on the pieces, especially if you think about a car of the idea on a car and how many pieces that are in there, the number of parts,
Right.
especially these days, right? And if you break it all down, um, and the fact that you're literally changing everything only because you just want to change one aspect of something,
Right.
it seems to me like the best. It's almost like you want to beat someone's head in sometimes when they say, "Hey, dude,
why
take
why
a
would
look
you
what's going
spend
on
time
here."
and energy
I don't
for
mean that
doing
in a
that?
violent way, or maybe I do, but sometimes it's like, do I have to like, show you up close what it is that you're doing and why are you doing it? But the thing is, sometimes I say, well, but that's the way it should be done because then it's not going to be done right. Well, I think it's partially trust.
Right.
Can they trust that if I do this that particular way, that I'm not going to lose something, I'm not going to break something or anything else. The shift and lift says, I trust that it's going to work, that my process when I'm making money on my bread and butter is not going to fail because I decided at this last moment to change something fundamental potentially under the
Right.
covers. Can I trust that a fundamental change can be done in short order, safely and reliably? And then, of course, I'm going to say, how do you trust that when you lift and shift, just putting it over there is it's going to look there? Well, it was working over there, and it should work over there. Well, hold on a second. What's the difference between there and here?
Right.
Um, there are no differences. Yes, there is. That's there and that's here. There's a
Right.
difference.
There is a
It's like, well,
difference.
what's the difference between the two? It's like, well, that's there. What's there that's different than here? Well, if you don't know that, why are you moving it?
Why are you moving
Right?
it?
Think
Exactly.
about it. It's like you don't understand what there. What here's the thing.
Define
There.
there, right?
What
And
what
define
is
here.
there? What's around it? It's like, I see. There's a body of water. There's a pipe. There's a
Right.
connection. There's some sun. What's over here? No sun, rocky surface, and killer ants. So
Yeah.
okay,
So if you think about,
what's different?
in the software world, that would be, you know, you've got Active Directory in the environment, you've got network connectivity, you have all of these things that are environmental, that are around the application that you're changing. And see, I'm thinking too, if you look at the DevSecOps, if you look at, CI/CD pipelines, those are we talk about changing both, right? You mentioned you don't want to necessarily change both as you replatform. You want to keep everything else the same. It's sort of like they talk about not changing horses in midstream. You're not going to change your tire while you're running a race. But if
Yes.
you build out that CI/CD pipeline, that's sort of like the pit crew. And if you've watched racing, you can see how quickly they can change your tires. You drive in and you've got a 5 second or a 3 second pit stop where you're
Yes.
gassed and you've got four new wheels.
Yes.
And that's what your CI/CD pipelines are doing
There we
for you.
go.
They're giving you that kind of velocity
Yes.
so that you can make those fundamental changes. And you can change the way the car is set up in one of those pit stops
Right.
by by setting things up in advance so that you
Exactly.
can so that you can take advantage of that velocity.
Planning for the win. In all cases, you know what they say is that the more you plan, of course, if you take too long to plan, eventually it never gets done. That may be one
Right.
thing you can say that, but here's the thing: the more you plan, let's just say the more confident you should be able to be. You can't plan for everything, but
Right.
every bit of planning, as they say, it's not that it doesn't hurt. Every bit of planning helps,
Well, and,
frankly.
and not just planning, but practice,
Ah, that
right?
too.
So
Practice
you
makes
know,
perfect, as they say. Yes.
you don't deploy your application once a year. You deploy it once a day. You get really good at it.
Yes. Oh, so
Why
yeah,
not?
it's not just a once a day. The idea is like even remember disaster recovery. We had that
Yes.
project on the DR. The DR is like that's our colloquial term from. Are you doing any
Disaster
DR work?
recovery.
Yes, of course. Yes, the DR work. The concept is like, okay, you have a disaster recovery plan. We would ask is like, yes, we do. When was the last time you tested it? Tested it. We have not had a disaster. Why would
Right.
we have to test it when after we built it? Well, here's the thing. Even though you don't have a disaster, you should plan on a cadence. Oh, I don't know. It depends on how busy you are. At least, how about every half year?
Right.
Or how
Once
about
a
once a
quarter.
year?
Once a
Once a
quarter.
quarter is better. Is better. More often actually is even better, especially if you have changes that
Yes.
occur more frequently. If you have changes that are significant that occur, technically speaking, you should change it. You should at least test it or at least challenge it often enough.
Well, and the beauty of the cloud is that you don't have to keep a separate second environment up and running all of the time.
And that
You
used to be the
stand it
excuse
up.
before. That was the excuse
Right.
before. Well,
Oh,
we
it's
couldn't
too
do this because it
expensive.
was like too expensive, too many people.
Oh,
That's like the exercise of doing it was ridiculous. Like, well, hold on a second. How about put that digital twin, if that's the case of on-prem, put that digital twin up online and basically throw rocks at it. Remember the old
yes.
throw rocks theory? I'm going to throw rocks at it. Well, I have a new rock. Let's see what happens. Well, good thing we tested against the new rock because now we have to update our DR
Right.
for
We
that
have to update our
piece.
plan.
We have
Exactly.
to update our plans. And something new was added, or something new is in the environment that wasn't there before. Because here's the thing: a lot of plans says, "Well, I didn't change anything. Why should I change my plan?" Well, you didn't change, but the world
The
changed
world
around
changed
you,
around you
right?
for sure.
Did you check to see that the world is going to like keep you safe in that same particular way. Da
Yes.
da. There we go.
Ta-da.
I just made
All right.
some. We made some people some business right now. They're like, oh crap, let me go to my client right now. Hey, you know you have to pay us now because guess what? It's like, you know what?
They
You're
said that
welcome.
you should. You're
Stay
welcome.
in business. You're welcome. Stay in business. Don't send us royalties. Say thank you maybe if you want, or just say hi. But seriously, we're going to go off on that particular note to say
Yes.
anything we can do to make you finally make that sale. Sure, give us a ping. We'll try to see what we can do for you. Yeah,
Absolutely. And yeah, that is a good note. We're at time. So
we
it's
are.
been fun. It's been real.
I
It's
have a
actually been
dog and
real
pony
fun.
to go to. I haven't done many of those recently. Usually it's somebody showing me stuff, and those we could be dog and ponies, but this is an actual, hey, let's present in the dog and pony format. We'll talk about what that means because some people are like dog and pony. What the? We'll
We'll
talk
have to
about
talk
that.
about this next
We'll
time.
have to talk about it next time
All
on
right.
the Cloud Talk Show. Yes, at Cloud Talk Show. At Cloud Talk Show. YouTube.com/at Cloud Talk Show. How easy is that? And of course, you got to update the channel. So, anyways, we'll let
Absolutely.
it go. Raquel, cycle us out. Thanks.